Matt Norman, the Skiff broker here in Dunedin, Florida, presenting a 2022 Chittum Skiff's Islamorada 18 performance carbon fiber. She is a 100% carbon fiber build. The Islamorada 12-degree deadrise boat with the big running pad. A beautiful gray, light gray hull with a, looks to be maybe a whisper gray top deck, maybe a Kingston and whisper gray, or looks about right. We're sitting on a custom aluminum Ram-Lin trailer, and we are powered by a Mercury 115 Pro XS outboard with only 298 hours. It's a one-owner boat. Original owner custom built this boat for fly fishing for tarpon in the Keys. It is super quick, upper 50s mile an hour, probably 56 to 58 top speed, which is cranking for a skinny water skiff that will float in just a few inches of water. I'm gonna walk you through this boat in detail. It's a brokerage listing of mine, so there we can see that nice big running pad that really airs out the boat nicely. Also, the Mercury sitting on a Bob's hydraulic jack plate, and this looks to be a 6-inch setback, not a 4-inch setback, so a little extra setback right there. Oh yeah, he's even got a little spacer right here. So with that extra setback, this thing can definitely trim out. You also notice here carbon fiber trim tabs. Chittum does those in-house. Real sweet setup. Boat buckle trailer straps on the trailer. This boat was not guided out of. It did have some tournament fishing done in the Keys, but it's a multiple Chittum owner, multiple high-end skiff owner, knows how to treat his stuff. It is a fixed tongue on the trailer. I'll get a measurement for anybody with a tight garage fit, but it should still fit in a lot of garages, maybe at a little angle. So here we can see, take a look at these huge spray rails and nice sharp entry, and also get a look at how clean the bottom is. A little bit of carpet rubbing right there from loading, unloading, very expected. But as you can see back here, peel back further astern, and you can see that she is in excellent shape. A couple little marks here on the rub rail, you know, little contact at the dock, what it's for. She is pre-wired for a trolling motor, but there is no trolling motor that conveys, but the wiring infrastructure is there. Start here in the bow. Removable bow casting platform. Chittum does this very well. They have these little metal male and female pieces. So this is the female that's permanently in the deck, and then the males are right in the middle of this pipe, and they, on these back legs, they seat right into it, so it keeps this platform from ever wanting to move around and mar the deck up, or just, you know, come out of place when you're running through some rougher chop. This appears to be an attachment for a lean bar. There is not one that conveys with the boat, but I'm sure you could call the factory up and get a lean bar male that fits right into those females. Rigid Industries spreader light here for running in early morning darkness, and this goes right in here through a watertight connection, and if you want to take this off, you can, and you just remove this and put a finish cap on there. C-deck on the front hatch allows for a nice transition up and down from either the cockpit to the deck, or really from stepping down here to stepping on here in case the decks are wet. A nice anti-slip. Let's take a peek here in the forward locker. So we get our first glance at all of the carbon fiber. So again, 100% carbon fiber build. That is hull, deck, hatches, every piece of glass is carbon. This is a 32-gallon fuel tank, baffled and coated. Looks to be in excellent shape. Nice big deep hatch gutter, good gasket, gas strut holding it up, so just open and close just like that, beautifully. This is a, for those of you wondering what this stick is, this is your fuel sending unit, your trusty dowel rod. So you will simply pop this guy open and drop the stick right in there and see if you're reading, you know, full, quarter, half, three-quarter. Let's climb on in. Cockpit and take a closer look up here. So rod tube configuration under gunnel. On the starboard side is 5 forward-facing tubes. None on the forward-facing on the port side because it is set up to be staggered aft-facing. And there are 6 aft-facing slots on these nice staggered holsters right here to keep your reels from clogging. Here on the starboard side is more of a traditional rack setup with another 2 aft-facing tubes. Sea deck, black sea deck is mounted under here to keep everything nice and cushioned. So center console configuration. Definitely looks to be one of the larger center consoles that Chittum produces in this model. So you got plenty of cooler space. I love when that folds over right there. You don't have any issue. The hatch just lays right down, and you have plenty of volume here in the cooler, in the center console storage, which most people will use as a cooler. It is drained, and it drains into the bilge, not on the deck, which at first you may not think is a big deal, but if you are needing to drain it potentially while you're on the boat, you're not getting a bunch of cold water on your feet. So little simple pieces like that are nice touches that a lot of people don't think about. Upholstery is in really great shape. It's a carbon fiber print, you know, little minor imperfections and wear. Here's the while we're on upholstery, here's the aft cushion. It is all one piece and flips down out of the way if you needed to. It removes also with some twist grommets, so for longer trailer rides you can take this guy out. And also point out, you can open up this aft hatch without having to flip this guy back or do anything with it, which is nice. All right, so we've made it to the helm. A lot of cool stuff here to point out. One, a very nice low profile grab handle setup right here. So you can grab down low, you can grab up high. This is a great location for pulling yourself up onto the boat from the side when the boat's on the trailer. You have those on both sides. And here on the main helm surface is a Simrad 9-inch NSS Evo3S. You can see the Simrad engine, the NEMA 2000 engine data is hooked into the Simrad, showing the 298 hours. So all of your Mercury important information is going to be on here. You can see the full chart, touch to pinch to zoom, all that good stuff. And it's also got an in-hull transducer for sonar and water temperature. Electro tab, LED indicated position trim tabs with those custom carbon fiber plates. And this is pretty sweet. This Yamaha binnacle has got the dual stage for engine trim and jack plate. Oh, there it goes, a little sticky. Might want to spray some lube on there, or maybe it's a little delayed. But so you have 2 trim pieces, one for each, so you do not have to have your hand come down to here to adjust the jack plate. You don't have to mess with the jack plate switch right here. I think that is very clutch when you're running at speed to be able to make fine-tune adjustments with that same right hand. Yamaha key switch and the hook pull. Oh yeah, you guys might be wondering, Yamaha binnacle, Mercury engine. That is something Chittum does pretty much across the board. They are compatible. I actually didn't know that until I started brokering these guys, but yeah, so they mount the Yamaha binnacle and can make the conversion to work with the Mercury outboard. So that is really cool. Switch panel, push button style, backlit. Very nice and easy to work. Console access door gives you access to your battery switch. Your battery, this battery was put in new in late 2025. There's a battery on off switch, fuses. There's a spot, dedicated spot for a trolling motor battery if you shall be desired to install a trolling motor package. There you go. Edson comfort grip steering wheel, 3-spoke with power knob. So looking here again, aft bulkhead, carbon fiber. This is the drain for any water coming into the cockpit. So drains again into the bilge area. I'll show that in a moment. Here is your access. So this is their 3-hatch setup. So you have that main locker there in the deck in the bow, and look at this massive locker. So again, it is huge. The video probably does not do it justice. I could lay down in there if I wanted to, and it's deep. And why it is so big is because this is the inside wall of the hull. You can see the contour of the deadrise here. So they're not putting a liner in here strategically to give you so much more volume, to save on weight considerably. And you know, about the only thing you could pick apart at it is it is glossy, glossier in some parts than others, because you can see where they're rolling this carbon, and you can see some exterior plumbing. But I would so much rather have the open space and deal with, okay, maybe something kind of got rolled all the way back there, bottle of sunscreen or whatever, and I got to grab it. You know, there's so much you can do for storage solutions, you know, with Tupperwares and bags and crates to organize this space. So I'm not worried in the least bit that there's not liners in here and like maybe 3 separate hatches or anything like that. So this is a great setup. Again, big hatch gutter. This guy drains in multiple spots. So when you have the drain in each corner right here, that runs, actually runs, where does it go? It goes into the splash well. So again, it stays out of the bilge. So that hatch runs right into that splash well, right through that hole right there, and exit out the boat. And you have these little gutter channels right here that add for additional water drainage. And this is your bilge. It is a watertight compartment. So this piece right here runs through this C channel, this I-beam, if you will, all the way into this sealed compartment, waterproof bilge, float switch. So this is the only spot the water can go. The water will not go anywhere into this dry storage. And what we're looking at right there, I'll get to in just a second, is the crustacean crevice. So they inserted a sweet little crab insignia in the carbon fiber there. And so it's not big, but it doesn't need to be. So again, we're looking at, you could add an airstone bubbler in there. I've seen guys do that. There's a little light in there, but it's set up just to keep some shrimp and crabs alive as needed. Great little well right there in the back corner. Again, we touched on this splash well, so there is no open bilge access. Any water that comes on board is gonna flush right out. These are well above water line. And we can see the hydraulic hoses feeding into the C-Star hydraulic steering system. The engine rigging is very clean in here. Your Bob's jack plate. Get a good look at it right here and get a great look at this engine cowling. Boat was just waxed and detailed, so it shines bright. Take a peek at this pulling platform setup. Chittum does this a lot, and although there's not a backrest integrated, which I've seen them do that, it is so nice to have this step up here to be able to step and stay center line, center point on the pulling platform, especially with a little taller pulling platform like this. Since the engine has the jack plate, it is so nice to just stay center point on the boat as you're entering and exiting the pulling platform. Let's see, I think that about covers it. Again, there's very little wear and tear items. Of course, I'll make sure to point those out to any prospect as needed. Make sure to give everybody a very transparent and detailed view of this skiff before a purchase or transaction. But again, it's a beautiful sunset here on the Dunedin Causeway. Wish I was out pulling this thing around for tailing redfish right now. Definitely not the only one enjoying a gorgeous sunset, but yeah, we look forward to sending this boat to a flat near you and get you on the water. Again, Matt Norman with Florida Native Boat Sales and the Skiff Broker here, presenting a 2022 Chittum Skiffs 18 Islamorada, 12-degree dead rise, 3-hatch boat, 100% carbon fiber here in Dunedin, Florida. We'll see you on the water.